What do you genuinely not understand? How so many fucking terrible commercials make it to TV. When I see a dumb commercial, my thought is always the same. A group of grown-ass people sat around a table somewhere and discussed how they want to promote their brand. They came up with an entire marketing strategy, probably had a vote about it, and sent approval on to the marketing department company for production. That marketing department created, scripted, filmed, and produced that piece of shit commercial. Then they sent it back to the group of grown-ass people, who sat around the same table watching the shitty commercial before agreeing that it's sending the exact message they want about their brand. They likely then vote again to approve running it on TV. A huge budget is approved for putting that dumbass commercial out there, and the result is the piece of crap I just saw on TV. Yeah, I don't understand that. How perfect strangers make small talk, and how they know when to end the conversation without it dragging on awkwardly. I used to be a lawyer and had 4 steps on my time to finish this consultation. Ladder. 1. Okay then. 2. Okay then, again, but this time slapping the table gently with both hands. 3. Stand up. 4. Walk from behind desk, past client and open door. Only one client ever stayed sitting past step 4. It was horrible. I was powerless to defeat him. He stayed another 15 minutes, trying to teach me positive energy moves from his own brand of Tai Chi. People who take personal offense when your taste in music, movies, food, whatever differs from theirs. I went to college with a guy who listened to exclusively classic rock. Great genre, totally get it. Except he would get legitimately angry when someone put on rap in the car or wanted to sing pop at karaoke. Refused to work with a friend of mine in a group project because she loved techno. Said her opinions would never matter because obviously something was wrong with her. Why can't you just let people enjoy the shit they like? It's a form of elitism that makes themselves feel better and more cultured or intelligent than the people around them. It's dumb. I mean, look at the other comments on this post about people liking celebrities. It's the same shit. Sometimes when I'm just sitting there, I become hyper-aware of my senses and then the whole concept of existence just confuses the fuck out of me. Or when you're brushing your teeth or washing your face and you stare at yourself in the mirror too long and you're just like, whoa, this is me. But I'm actually me and I see me. And you go into a mini existential crisis about you being you and then you forget it happened. It's like when you're reading a word over and over and it starts losing all meaning. Except that instead of a word, it's you. How language developed. Obviously it did, but I just can't fathom how. I just picture caveman men walking and pointing to things and grunting. That's basically it. They made sounds to refer to stuff and people caught on and used the same sounds and understood through context and repetition what each other meant, and it built and spread from there. I imagine early communication started with things like, hey, relax, I'm not gonna kill you. Come here, look, food, tasty animal, danger. All things that are kind of obvious what is intended to convey in context, and with pointing at the thing as you make a sound. Why I hate going to sleep and also hate waking up. Edit, I'm not depressed. I used to be for several years. But a few years ago I got better. Didn't just happen overnight obviously, but I'm not gonna go into detail about it here. I'm much happier now and enjoy life a lot more, but I still hate my sleep schedule. I keep trying to get it somewhat normal, but it keeps getting fucked up. Maybe anxiety is a part of it, but I doubt that is the sole reason. I don't hate change for the most part. It depends on the change, but I don't think that applies here. I've tried using melatonin and other sleep aids. Sometimes it works, but not always. Doesn't matter how early I go to bed, I will lay in bed for 6 hours and not be able to go to sleep until 7 in the morning. I've had this problem for almost a couple decades now and in multiple settings. When I was in high school, when I had a full-time job, and now that I'm going back to school and have a part-time job. I just think it's very nuanced, and there are multiple factors that contribute to it. I'd like to have a sleep study done, but it's so difficult to find the time to do so right now. Nothing. Like the whole concept of nothing boggles my mind. What was here before our universe? Nothing. What's in between the atoms of our bodies? Nothing. What's for dinner? Nothing. I just don't get it. Just because we can't perceive something, it doesn't mean it's nothing. How people believe 5G causes coronavirus. Saw some lady on our local news station's Facebook page going off about that. 5G is 10,000 times the power of 4G. Coronavirus has already caused testicle problems in men akin to high doses of radiation. I'm not going to reveal my sources. I did my research. Do your own. The process of thought, how we can make so many decisions in a split second. Internal dialogue is crazy. Does everyone have the same sort of inner thoughts? Do animals have internal dialogue? When I think about it, it blows my mind. Oh man, I had a fucking existential crisis recently, when I started thinking about how my thoughts just popped into my head and I actually have no control of what I think. Like I don't decide to think something, I just do. How the fuck do brains even work? Do I even have free will? Am I just a biological machine running calculations based on previous experience? Not to get too crazy, but man, this shit weirds me out whenever I think of it. Guys that hit each other in the nuts for fun. What a fact is with that? I watched an interview with Steve-O and he says fans want him to kick them in the nuts and are so happy and thank him when he does. How computers work. I'm a reasonably tech-savvy person, but I genuinely have no idea about the inner workings of the tools I use for 12 hours every day. It's like I'm like a professional driver who has no idea how an engine or a turbocharger or brakes work. People that will flip you off or yell at you when they are the ones doing the wrong thing. One time my daughter was getting off the bus and crossing the street when a car came barreling down the road running the bus stop sign. I ran out into the road in front of my child, held up my hand and screamed stop. The lady flipped me off. Like fucking seriously. I saved you from killing a child. My child, and you flip me off. I won't go into the details of what I did next. I wasn't proud. I'm a physics teacher and I'm embarrassed to say that despite reading several explanations, I still don't understand how batteries work. Specifically, if one end of the battery basically houses excess electrons and the positive side has a dearth of electrons, why doesn't connecting two batteries, but not in a closed circuit, cause half of each battery to drain? When people who are blind since birth talk about that, they do not even see black. It's like nothingness. I mean, they also don't know what black is if they've been fully blind since birth. They have no benchmark of black to compare what they see to. Also, how do they even know what seeing is, to know that they see nothing? Like there is no way of even explaining to them what seeing is, and we have no way of knowing if they can fathom what seeing is. People who refuse to change their beliefs and opinions when confronted with rock-solid evidence to the contrary. They often don't want to look stupid or lose face. Most of the humor of popular YouTubers. They literally just scream, make dumb faces and do goofy dances. Don't see how that appeals to anyone over the age of 10. A lot of popular YouTubers are making content for an audience of children, to be fair. I was really good at maths at school until year 10 when we hit a topic called numbers and proof. It was about proving that the answer to an equation was definitely right. I think? I don't really know, because I never understood a single thing the teacher said that whole term. People who inflate their cheeks when they're underwater. Because they think holding their breath means fighting to keep it in. Highly motivated people. You know the internal demon you have to fight to get something done? It's the opposite for over-motivated people. It's like when you're not completing tasks, you've ruined your day and it eats you up inside. That's a really good description. It's hard to just do nothing, like insanely hard. I feel like I've always got to be working through a list of things, otherwise I'm dying inside. I've taken up a lot of handicraft-type hobbies, knit, crochet, embroidery, because it lets me calm myself and stop moving on some level. How anyone learns to read. When I try to break it down, it just seems so crazy and impossible. See this shape? It sounds like this, or sometimes like this. Actually, sometimes it doesn't make any sound at all. Got it? Great! Now here's 25 more of them. But 4-year-olds are doing it. Insane. I've always wondered how English-speaking kids learn to read. In my native language, Finnish, each letter represents only one sound. English-speaking kids and/or teachers must have some superpowers. Fucking magnets, how do they work? Bitcoin, no matter how it's explained to me. People who share unsolicited nudes. Why? What are you hoping to gain? What's the end game? Like some poor hapless person is just gonna be like, hey nice cock bro, here's £1 million, or some shit? Just why? Why I'm here. My mum decided to get laid 28 years ago, and I had to put up with the consequences ever since. Social interaction. 1. How to make friends. 2. How to small talk. 3. How to make friends using small talk. 4. How to flirt. Why the Kardashians are famous and popular. That weird ringing randomly in my ear. Like a TV just turning on or something. Why people actually give two SHTs about what celebrities think. How people cheat after years or even decades in a marriage, especially when there are kids involved. I genuinely can't put myself in these people's shoes. Is breaking up your family worth it for some strange cock pussy? Or even if you are in love, is that really a fair trade in those people's minds? What do you genuinely not understand? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.